All right, so we have this propane stove, and we turn on the pilot. It's only when we're going to use it, so we could save propane. And today we're going to make some homemade cheese. Chelsea the cow has given us about a gallon of milk, and so that's what we're going to show you how to make cheese with milk. But you can make this cheese with store-bought milk. It doesn't have to be cow's. Well, they're all cow's milk, but it doesn't have to be raw milk. I am doing a double pan cook. You want to make sure that you have enough water, but not a lot of water, where when you pour your liquid in, all the water doesn't pour out of the pot, but it goes mostly around the pot because you want it to be covered with the heat of the water. I have a gallon of milk, and then I'm going to prepare about a cup of vinegar. So for every gallon of milk, I use a cup of white vinegar. And I'm gonna make a cheese that is I use for my quesadillas. You bring the water up. You bring the cheese up to 110 degrees. And in my case, where I'm using unpasteurized milk, that would keep it still raw, because you have to bring it up to 165 if it's considered pasteurized, for it to be considered pasteurized. We drink unpasteurized milk. We like all the benefits from the milk, so we really prefer to drink unpasteurized milk. You can make cheese, you can make yogurt, you can make butter, you can make ice cream, you can make many things with milk. If you buy store-bought milk and it's going a little sour, that's a good time to make queso fresco. And you can make it and put it in your freezer, and then when you make tacos, you have it ready. So don't throw away the milk. It's starting to get a little bit sour. Just make some cheese. So here I have a cup of white vinegar, and I need for the temperature of the milk to be about 110. So we'll take the food thermometer and we'll check the temperature to make sure that it's warm, not real hot, before we put the vinegar in. I've made mistakes and put the vinegar in too early, and it will not turn into cheese. It'll just stay milk. And so you really do have to wait for the temperature to be correct. And different cheeses have different temperatures. This one is, the one we're making is like stringy cheese, something similar to mozzarella, and it needs to have 110 degrees. So after we put in the vinegar, we're gonna stir it around until it starts, the milk will turn into cheese, and what you'll have is clear whey. And the whey is, we use it for feeding our pigs, or you can use it in one of our other segments. We used it for fermenting. I ferment my vegetables with just salt, but Peggy mentioned that you can ferment a little bit faster using a little bit of whey. I kind of like the idea that you can do it faster. But for vegans, if you wanted to sell fermented vegetables for vegans, you wouldn't use the whey. So
since the milk is unpasteurized, would that make the cheese unpasteurized?
yes, this cheese is unpasteurized. You know, you can make this cheese and be really creative. You can, and today we're not going to do it, but maybe in another segment we will. You could put basil, you could put garlic, you could put so many things in there to make it flavored cheese. I'll have to make some cream cheese. I think flavored cream cheese is probably the best because you could put it on bread and crackers and you name it. The cheese that we're making today, we have it for lunch most of the time for quesadillas. I like to make quesadillas with spinach and mushroom and onions. That's kind of my favorite. And so we eat that a lot. And then Saul's gonna show the last segment of this video where you make Oaxaca style cheese where it's really, really stretchy, but you have to do another process and the cheese is too hot for my hands. So he's gonna work the cheese. So I think we're almost close to the temperature that we need. It's about, I would say about 10 to 15 minutes on medium heat or kind of high heat. And
I didn't say anything. Wait, we're going to skip. You touched it.
Well, I think the temperature of the cheese is almost ready. It's about 10 or 15 minutes on medium to high heat. And I think we're ready. Yep, I think I've reached the temperature that I need, 110. And so now we will get a spoon. And I like to get the spoons with the little holes in it. That way it kind of stirs it a little bit more than the spoon without holes. So we will add the vinegar and stir it up until you see like clear, the clear water or whey from the cheese. You need a colander. You're gonna need another pot to pour out the cheese from the whey. You need a deep one because you're gonna have all the water, all the whey separating from the cheese. So a pot, a colander. All right, so we're ready to add the vinegar. Again, it's 1 cup of vinegar and I use white vinegar, and you stir it until it starts separating. Pot are hot, don't forget your pot holder. You see how it starts separating and it starts getting stretchy. It's almost ready. You can almost just turn off the pilot, the stove, because the water is hot enough for it to continue to separate. It's yummy. You know, these are dishes that you can make with things in your house, and this doesn't take very long. You also can store it, you can freeze it, something for you to have to cut up and put in tortillas, because we're in the valley, everybody eats tortillas, everybody likes cheese. So this is something that you can do at home, and your kids can help you. You know, you might not let them pour out the hot water, but they can do the stirring. So now we have some cheese. And it's about a pound of cheese. So you get a pound of cheese from a gallon of milk. And what I'm doing is I'm pressing it down to get as much whey out of it as possible. Now, the whey can be saved. It doesn't go bad. You can use it for different recipes. We actually give it to our pigs. They really like it, and it's good for them. The dogs get whey. The cats maybe not, but the dogs love it too. We put a little bit in there. We have an old dog, and we put the whey in his cereal and his dog food, and it's nice and soft for him and nutritious. So every week, and you can always email me suggestions on what other vegetables or maybe ideas on what we can show you. And if it's grown on the farm or we make it or like the milk, that we have milk on the farm, we can turn it into a Twitch channel. Show you what to do with all kinds of really neat things. I love to cook, and I have a lot of ideas. Some of them are fast, some of them take a lot of prep. But just keep on watching us, and we'll hope to give you a lot of really good ideas for your family, especially now since we might be locked up for COVID. Or maybe not locked up, but we don't go out as much. I have a teaspoon of salt that I'm adding to it while it's very warm, and I will squeeze it and get more whey out of it at the same time mixing the salt in. The more whey you get out, the longer the cheese is going to last. And like I said, you can add all kinds of herbs to it to give it a different flavor. And different cheeses are just made at different temperatures. I'm a hands-on cook. I love to use my hands, and it's a little more difficult when you have to be use the spoons and stuff, because I really like using my hands. They're the best spoons you can have. Mixing, squeezing, chopping. It's really good. It has enough salt. This is a seed from a plant that you can also use to collaborate or to make cheese instead of the vinegar. You take 10 of those. They're usually in the fields where you have cows, and you squeeze them, and you get a few little drops, and you put that in the milk, and it will separate the milk just like the cheese does, just like the vinegar does. We'll have to show you a different time what the plant looks like. So now we're going to shape our cheese. You could use anything, a plastic bowl, a plate, anything that you want to put it in. And then I'm continuously taking this whey out. The more liquid you can get out of there, the better. I made some tamales with this cheese. I put cheese and garlic and I made some vegan tamales, well, vegetarian tamales, and they turned out delicious. We'll have to do that one day. I took the masa and I added garlic to the masa, corn masa, and then I added garlic to the cheese. Well, I love garlic though. So we had a very tasty cheese tamales. Try this. You know, you can make cheese for someone for Christmas. It's a really good idea. I love making homemade food for Christmas ideas or gift ideas. You take it with a gallon of milk, you can give someone a pound, 3/4 to a pound of cheese. And I'm sure they'll appreciate the homemade gift. So this is our cheese. You can package it and freeze it. And when you're ready to have it, it's ready to use again. So if you really want your cheese to last a long time, or you want to make Oaxaca cheese, right? Because you want it nice and more like mozzarella. What we have is a pot of really warm water, and you put the cheese to get the most whey out. You're almost like washing it, and you squeeze it to get all the whey out. Then you put it back in the warm water, and you do this till you get the right consistency. And Saul is doing this one for me because you really have to squeeze that one. You put it in the warm water, toss it around a couple of times, and then squeeze till you get that liquid out. And you do that for about 5 minutes until you get your, and if you notice that it looks really sticky, it does get really sticky. So all you're getting is the cheese. He's stretching and squeezing, stretching and squeezing, and then he puts it back in the water. And the water is not hot, it's warm. I've been corrected, the water is hot, not warm. So this is also gonna extend the life of your cheese. You can find, this does reduce it. It's not gonna be a pound anymore. It's probably gonna be more like half a pound, because you are really taking all of the liquid out. So you end up with about a half a pound of cheese, but it is really, really good cheese, and it lasts a long time, but it's really rich too. So if you notice that when you go to the store, the Oaxaca is usually in a small little package, and it's pretty expensive cheese because it takes a lot of milk to make just a little bit of cheese. So after you've done this for a little while, good 5 minutes, and you feel like you've gotten out all the way that you're gonna get out, then You just package it the way you want to in the container that you would like to, so it has the right shape. And after you have the shape and it cools off a little bit, then you can package it. Again, you can freeze cheese. We have a lot of cheese in the freezer. There's many times we just don't want to eat meat. We just don't want to eat meat, and we just get cheese, and we have cheese and vegetables. So you could do a lot of things and freeze and prepare for when you don't want to cook. Just take out and microwave too. You can microwave. I don't really care for microwave, but a lot of people do because it's fast and easy. Yeah. Saul likes to save the way. Mr. Piggies are waiting for those that way. We have 6 little piggies, and we bought them too young, and the sellers just took them away from their mom too young. And we finished raising them with Chelsea's milk from the whey of the cow, and they're beautiful now. So this is the cheese. This is Oaxaca style cheese, and you see it got reduced from the one that I made. This is the same block of cheese. He just reduced it so that it was a little bit more, it melts in the tortilla. This cheese is really good.
Want to continue? He's gonna package it. Right now, cutting the plastic.
So we got this little to-go container that we had, plastic to go, and he's pressing it in. He's using it as a mold. And look at that beautiful shape it's got. So I'm enjoying doing this Twitch thing. We're going to be showing you a lot of really cool stuff that we actually take for granted here at the farm. And Rios brothers. Yeah, well, the Rios brothers are convincing us that we should share with you on the Twitch channel, and it's pretty exciting for us because we do so many things here on the farm that we take for granted. We make our own cheese, we make butter, I cook a lot. We harvest our own meats, we grow our vegetables. So we want to share with you all these really cool things, and you can follow us every Tuesday, bring the kids, turn on the TV, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, teach them something new. And on Tuesday, you can learn some cooking ideas, and on Wednesday, you can learn some garden ideas, something you can do with your kids. The idea is to share with you what we do here on the farm that maybe you can share with your family too. Follow us on Twitch, go on our website, follow us. You can either go on Hope for SFS, which is our educational program, or you can go on Yahweh and see all the wonderful vegetables and animals and things, and follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Yes, we have a lot of educational things that we've even done for the universities. Follow us. We would love to share with you all the really cool things. Bye, and see you next time.